Hi everyone, this is another episode of NTD, a podcast by Dxn and Doja. I am Dixie.
Am I Doja? Okay, so on this episode, we want to talk about another book. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the episode about what book was that?
Lost that I broke. Sorry.
Lost that are broken in
Sorry,
the title of
no.
the episode.
A Broken People's Place.
A Broken People's
That's
Place.
the name of the book that had stories inside that we talked about. We talked about two, have we?
Yeah, two of the stories.
Yes.
What does it feel like?
So wait. I was going to. Okay, no.
What is that?
Keep going.
Keep going.
Mm. So today's book, right, is The Thing Around Your Neck by I want to announce by drum rolls. By the what's the word now? Give me what.
I don't know what you want to say.
By the
One and only.
one and only.
Is one and only you were looking for?
One and only. No, I'm looking for other adjectives
I
now.
don't know.
The one and only, the best in writing.
Best in writing?
The
Arguably, actually.
The
Wait, best in writing actually before you guys come
best
for my
in
head.
writing, best in story, best in book titles.
Whoa, just call her name. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your CNA, my CNA, our CNA.
Okay, I was saying. I know that if I do not agree that she's best in writing, people will come for my head.
Yes, will come for your head and they will cut it off.
What's that comments that you saw about the comparisons with Akweke Mezi and
Okay, yeah, someone was like that she doesn't like the comparison between.
did we make a comparison that time?
I don't even remember what that conversation was about.
I think they had issues one time. Like, I don't know. There
The
were
both of
this,
them?
Yeah. They had this what's it called? I don't know the details of the issue, but then they had to write I don't know disses to each other. Feels like the thing that will happen in like
Are you serious?
hip hop tracks. Yeah.
Giving music industry.
Yeah. And I am Chimamanda wrote a reply, and I think the reply was titled "It is obscene," something in three parts, and then she went subliminal style of dissing Akweke, it was
Are you
crazy.
serious? That sounds really. I don't know if I see the word petty, but like
Why does it sound petty?
do they do that thing?
Yeah, they do it in writing now. Yeah,
Yeah.
It happens almost all the time. Like, well, not almost all the time.
It's giving
somebody-
Nicki Minaj and
Oh, you know about that? How do you know about that?
I
Child of
it's
God.
everywhere
How do you know
now.
about
People always talk about it, how
I thought it's only an endless ocean
Nicki
you know
is
about.
too old to. Why do no.
What do you want to say? That endless
Let
ocean
me
is
keep
dropping.
my let me keep my excitement to myself.
It's calm. So yeah, I somebody who read it, one of my guys who read Akweke's piece said that Akweke wrote better.
That's
Now I'm
Chimamanda.
going to definitely. Akweke is a very solid writer. In fact, even Chimamanda knows that Akweke is a very solid writer.
Nobody says
But I am
Chimamanda
not
doesn't know.
trying to compare the two of them. I'm not trying to compare the two of them. At least that's not the subject of this episode.
Okay.
You guys, when you listen to this, I'm not a CNA hater. In fact, I love CNA. I've written about her somewhere, and then I've read all her stuff. So the stuff we're reviewing today, we're not exactly reviewing it. It's like we want to discuss one or two stories from there. It's not that deep, Abby. Yeah. It's from the collection of short stories.
So from
What do you want to say?
this book, right? In this book, yeah, like how many stories?
Well, I hope we are talking about story.
I know that.
You know, the last episode you were always
Calm down.
Okay.
The
Okay,
past
I'm
is the past.
Okay.
So in this book, this is the Thing Around Your Neck, right? There are
Mhm.
like how many stories? I don't even know how many stories are in
I
this
think there are 12 too. Let me look at my
book,
copy.
right? So we're supposed to pick two stories to talk about.
Yep.
And our dear Dixon here.
Why am I always like okay, continue.
Yeah, no, our dear Dixon.
I am our dear Dixon.
Our dear Dixon. I don't know.
3,
People that have read this
7, 8,
The
9,
Thing Around
10,
Your Neck.
11,
You
12.
know that there are other stories that are more interesting than
You will tell us
What's the
those
name-
other
what's the
stories
name
that are
of
more.
the-
Calm down. You will
what's
tell
the
us
name
those
of
other
the
stories that are
story?
more interesting.
So we're talking about two stories actually.
Are we talking about 2 stories?
One or two. Let's just see where this goes. So the first one is on Monday of last week.
Yeah, Monday of
Right.
last week. I know the people that saw the episodes reveal, like seeing it, scheduled for a Monday, and the Monday was like the last
week
month.
of February.
Yeah, they felt like it was that deep.
It's actually not that.
It's not that deep.
I
Bro.
promise.
I know the episode is coming out on the Monday of the last week of February. And actually, I wanted us to play on it and talk about.
I feel like Dixon did this because it's his job to do, doing all these deep things.
What do
Because
you
I was
mean
not
by that?
involved,
What do you mean by
honestly.
that?
I was not
It was
involved.
coincidental.
Ah, really? Okay,
It
let's
was
say so.
coincidental.
All right.
So
I don't
you were about to
believe.
make a point about the best stories
Yes,
on the book.
so we have like other interesting stories in this book, and this is suggested that we should
You
talk
tell me those
about
other interesting stories. So.
Jumping Monkey Hill.
Jumping Monkey Hill is like
And I read Jumping Monkey Hill, and I was like, "Excuse me."
there are 12 stories in here, and I mean, Jumping Monkey Hill is like one of the most stylistic. But you will not know that, will you?
Well, it's for.
It's for what
I mean,
deep people like me. Should I call you out?
thank you for helping me complete my sentence.
Should I call you out?
What?
Everything will be fine.
I shall know
Tell
that.
me the other stories that are like bring a story that stays side by side with Jumping Monkey Hill.
It's been long I read this book.
Yeah. Okay.
But I actually think that even the thing around your neck, like the thing around your neck itself,
Okay. They think okay.
was better
Okay.
than that one.
Really? How memorable is the thing around your neck?
To be very honest.
You can't even remember it. But Jumping Monkey Hill was like
You see the problem. See, this
okay.
is the thing. When I read on Monday of last week, right?
Okay.
I remember the story.
Okay.
Do you guess? I'm like, okay, I've read this
Okay,
before. This is just
you remember
reading.
reading it.
Yes. But now this Jumping Monkey Hill, there was no memory of it in my head.
Maybe you skipped
That's
it when
just
you're
not
reading the short story
no.
collection the
I'm
first
sure
time.
that I read all the stories inside this book.
Okay.
But it didn't come back to my head because it doesn't hold.
What do you mean doesn't hold? Okay. Here's what.
Okay.
You said the thing around your neck, right? So I think that will probably make us like have 3 stories. But you tell us about the thing around your neck. Do you remember the thing
I
around your neck?
do not remember.
So how come you are comparing the thing around your neck with
Because I know, right, that I read other stories in this book
this
that was
is
more
the point
interesting
where
than Jumping Monkey Hill. I'm just putting this out there. Just
okay, here's what you guys go and read the thing around your neck. Thing around your neck.
I'll just say that already read it. You can just tell us which one was your
Yeah,
favorite.
probably on
I,
X
I
or
really don't
Spotify.
think anybody will say Jumping Monkey Hill was their favorite story, but okay. Okay. That's not
Okay.
the focus of today's conversation.
Let me just put it out there
Alright.
that it is heartbreaking for you to say that Jumping Monkey Hill is a terrible story. Like you did not just say that.
I didn't say it's a terrible story.
I mean, you're denigrating
I
the
just
story.
said that I did not see why you asked me to read it. And I don't see why
Those are the same things.
I don't see
You're
why
just cutting the corners to say it.
Alright.
Well, this is the point where I would say that in the history of humanity.
No. This is the line you always use when you
No, like I mean, in the history of humanity, nobody ever won an argument with a woman.
Alright.
And that's not a misogynistic statement. That is true.
Alright.
So I'm going to. So you guys read the thing around your neck and tell us which story you think. And no. Yeah, you can tell us which story you think is the best story or the story you enjoyed the most. And then you can also tell us if Jumping Monkey Hill is that crap, right? But I'm going to tell you guys about
it's
Jumping
actually
Monkey
not
Hill.
that crap because CNN cannot write crap. But then.
But I mean, you are countering yourself.
I'm not countering myself. I'm just saying that of all the stories in this book,
And you don't remember any.
How we spent
a bunch of the podcast. Yeah, that's how painful it is. That's how painful it is to me. Like making a fuss. But it's all good. Which story are we even talking about, Seth?
On Monday of last week.
On Monday of last week. Do you remember on Monday of last week?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about it.
On Monday of last week.
Don't sound like a toddler. Don't sound like the toddler would try to. Okay, all right, I'll keep that to myself.
I've not even started talking. Hi God. So
it's fine.
On Monday of last
week. That's how you
story.
described Lost Stars now. When you wanted to start Lost Stars, we don't want to describe. You're not the one that described.
Was it
Lost
me?
Stars. Yeah.
Nobody described Lost Stars. It was this story that we described.
Yeah, I described Lost Stars after you talked about liking it. You did not agree, but liking it because
I like it because it's a love story.
Exactly.
And I agreed with you.
Okay. So what are we not saying?
I don't know what I'm saying.
Continue. Just describe it well.
So yeah, it was a book about a Nigerian girl in I don't know where was the story.
So I think in the US.
Was it in the US? That she was doing babysitting work for
Talk about it. I'm not even going to help you
Why now?
because Jumping Monkey Hill is a terrible story.
So all this one is because of Jumping Monkey Hill.
Of course.
Hey, okay. Are you sure there's not more to this story than meets the eye?
Which story is that?
Tell me about it.
Which story is that?
Who asked you to read it? What was the first time you read it?
What are
Is
you
there
What
backstory?
are you
Sorry.
insinuating? What are you insinuating?
Ah,
It's fine.
so I was saying, it's about this lady, Nigerian lady that went abroad.
What's her name
After,
again? Kamara or something?
yes, Kamara.
Is she Kamara, Abi?
Uh,
Okay.
Kamara. It's one long Igbo name like that.
Really? Is that Igbo name?
Isn't that Igbo? I don't
Hmm.
know.
See how
But yeah, so her man had promised to take her abroad. In fact, I think they were married now. Okay, no, they
well,
had. I don't remember what happened. See me,
promises.
brain. There were promises. Tisha ended up going abroad with the
Yeah.
man that she liked
Mm-hmm.
when they were in Nigeria because she don't like him again when they were so
Okay.
he took her abroad.
Yeah.
After the whole family thing of when are they coming to take you abroad and kini. So they took her abroad, and then when people go abroad now, they try to find like stuff they can do
Yeah.
before they get on their feet and all that. And then she goes to this house where she's babysitting this young boy. It's a house of an American man,
Yeah.
right? And his wife. His wife, she literally lives in the what's that place? Attic. She literally lives there
Yeah, because she's an
because
artist, I
yeah,
mean.
she's an
Yeah.
artist. So she lives there. She lives in the attic, and she had never met her before.
That was
And
interesting. Like that was
it
very
was
interesting.
really, really
That you
interesting.
are the mother of the child
The
that I'm
child,
babysitting, and
and
you
I'm
have
not
never met me
here.
before.
And
That's
the
crazy.
dad was this very, I don't know, what was that character? Overprotective. It was not overprotective because if it was
Yeah.
overprotective, I think he would like
I,
to be around his son.
I
But
well, continue. I'm going to come up with
he
the
was,
description, the psychological
I don't know what
description
it
for that.
was, but there was a man, a dad of the child,
Yeah.
right? So everything was going fine, not fine. Everything was just going weird the way it was going
Okay.
until one day Tracy makes it up the stairs. Tracy decides to come out from her house because the part of the house where she lives in the attic, and then she comes out and Kamara sees her for the first time,
Yeah.
and then she's asking Kamara if she's a model. So if she asked her if she was a model, or I don't know if she takes pictures, or if I can't remember what that conversation was.
Oh.
But Auntie Kamara was hearing some other things that they were not telling her.
Okay. Like what?
And so she misinterpreted that whole situation with Tracy.
Okay.
I don't know if she has had history with women before or something, but it just felt like I don't even know what to call that thing that happened that day, what that conversation was. But I know Tracy was just asking her about if she could draw her, right?
Oh.
And then I don't know, I think she heard something else, or if Tracy was trying to pass another message or something.
Why are you even being hideous about
But
it? You are being
I
shady about passing the message
wait,
that was passed.
let's get to the second part.
Okay.
Right. So after that whole thing happened,
Yeah.
then Chimamanda now took us to Kamara's story.
Okay, her backstory.
Yeah, backstory,
Yeah.
background, and all that. That's when I now found out that this babe actually has a
That's-
man.
Okay.
So fast forward to the ending of the story, and Tracy comes upstairs again because apparently, I said Tracy lives in the attic now, so she comes
Mm.
upstairs once. So she comes upstairs again, and then there's this other lady in the house. I think the young boy is French teacher,
Okay.
and Tracy goes up to her and asks her the same thing that she asked Kamara,
Okay.
and she's like, um, how did she even put the question? She should asked her too if she used to model. That her eyes are really pretty,
Mm.
something like that. I know she commended Kamara about another feature
Another body
on her
feature.
body. Yes, and then she tells
That's
her
very
that her
weird to
eyes are
me.
really pretty. It's actually really weird. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that I'm not sure the message she was trying to pass. Do you
Okay.
get right? And
Yeah.
then she now asks her if she would come down to the attic so she could draw her. So
Mhm.
this is like the second person she's asking if she could draw.
Yeah.
And then Kamara thought it was a personal thing, like
Okay.
this woman
Mm.
was draw me.
Mm.
And I think that's the end of my story.
Wait.
God, I'm so bad at this. I don't know why it not help me,
I
but it's
cannot
fine.
remember these stories.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what? What? It's your best story.
I didn't say
It-
hold the
money
right
of
there.
that. I
I
cannot.
just said on Monday of last week. It's
Okay.
on Monday of last week. I just said that jumping Monkey Hill is not a very, 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 very. It's not the nicest story on this
Well,
book.
the thing is that it's faded in my head. Like it's faded in my head. Memories of like
Okay, let me bring back your memory.
I don't know if you do so much to remind me of like
So
the
I
story,
think
but
Kamara
I
thought
think
that
the character. Okay, go on.
this Tracy woman liked her. I don't know what she was thinking, love at first sight or
Okay,
something of the
what
sort.
kind of like though? By the way.
I do not know. That's what I'm not really sure of. But I know
Okay.
it's not just the usual. Oh, this woman is
No, like I mean, there's the stage of like where like you're fond of like this person.
yeah, but she had not met her before.
Yeah,
That's the
yes,
thing.
like
So
no,
there's
no, like
no.
I mean, like this person is amiable. Like you
Uh,
meet like, and that can apply like for both genders.
yes,
Like
yes.
a guy can meet a guy, like guys amiable. Like I
Mm,
think I like you, right?
mm.
That kind of thing. And like there's another level of like where it's like,
I
why
think
are
that's
you
right. I wasn't actually sure
okay?
what the story was.
Okay.
Right, I wasn't actually sure what was going on in that place
Mm.
because after their first encounter, Kamara started saying things about going to the putting on more makeup,
Okay.
wanting to see Tracy again.
Yeah.
Something about um. 'Cause she went to okay. This is what right.
Okay.
Nobody goes downstairs to the attic. I
Okay.
mean, attic downstairs. Yes, nobody goes down
Attic
to
is
the attic.
downstairs. I
Is
thought
it
attic
down?
is
Is
upstairs.
it up?
But whatever.
Nobody
Basement
goes.
is
Child, nobody
downstairs.
goes to the
Basement is
attic.
downstairs now.
Okay.
Attic is like upstairs, I think. But whatever. Like a separate place
Nobody shall
outside
goes
the
to the
house.
attic, right, to
Yeah.
meet Tracy.
Yeah.
But this babe went there to knock
Okay.
on the door, ask her if she needs anything. This woman lives there. She has never come
Okay.
up before to ask you
Okay.
if she needs anything. But she went there, and she now went. She now said, okay, because that day she thought that was going to be the day that Tracy would draw her. But
Okay.
Tracy just opens the door and is like, I don't need anything. Okay, thank you. Something like that. Bye.
Mm.
And then she closes the door and she's heartbroken.
Motionless.
I'm like, sorry, excuse me, auntie. What's happening to you? Your man is in the house. Is everything
But
okay?
let's discuss that for a bit. Do you think that the woman was bi? Do you think that
Well,
Kamara was bi?
I think so. Because there was this part that said, if she tells her best friend now, her best friend will see a fellow woman that has the same things you have.
Okay.
There was that statement, right? So I feel like maybe she had history or something. So this situation that happened was just bringing back her memory.
Mm.
I don't know
It's
if you
crazy
get what
because
I
when
mean.
I think about Africa and think about like Nigeria, it's hard for people to be bi or like trans. I feel like
It's
that is
hard.
Western influence. Like no, like I feel like for the longest time it's like, and I stand to be corrected anyway, but
Okay.
a and by the way, we should talk about like the whole and this is just us talking about it. It's not conclusive statement, but it's perspective, right? Yeah, I I went to an all boys school.
Okay.
By the way, I think I've told you that.
Yeah.
So there's something called sexual fluidity,
Okay.
and I think that the thing that you're trying to avoid, dumping a bunch of same-sex children into the same four walls can still happen because like they are not seeing the opposite gender. So when they get to that, that when they get to puberty, whatever hormonal changes happen in their body happen. For boys, spike of testosterone. For girls, spike of estrogen, and boom, boom, boom. And they want whatever is wanted, right? They will make do with what is available, right? And so I had this conversation like it's like 6 7 years after with my folks because like we still have a group chat,
Mm.
and I was like, for the folks that were actually, during my time, my 6 years, you can't stay in an all boys school without having heard or witnessed, folks that were homosexual or boom, 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 right? So,
Hey, for real.
oh yeah, it's because he went to the Air Force.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
No, yeah,
Crazy,
definitely.
crazy things be
What
happening.
do you mean by that? I think it's because you went to like dual school. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So I
no, what you witnessed more of was like boy and girl.
you know,
Exactly. So boy
I
always
mean,
asking
there
girls
were
out and
stories
boom boom
of
boom.
girls and girls,
Oh
right?
no, that's an oddity in
But
like
there no, but
in a
there were
mixed school.
stories. There were actually
That's
stories
an
really
oddity.
happening.
Yeah, and in the other girls' schools, which of course um there was this trend of boys from our school dating girls
Girls from
from,
the other school.
the reigning school.
Which school was that?
I don't want to mention the name of
Okay.
that school, but of course you know the name of my school now. My boys were like with the hottest boys.
Ah,
For reals,
please.
like for reals, with the hottest boys.
They used
Like
to make so much noise about you people's school boys, and I felt
exactly.
it was unnecessary
Ex-
because I mean,
See,
wow.
the thing about losers is that they always say that it's not about winning. I'm telling you the truth.
What do you mean by that statement?
I don't mean anything. I
Okay,
mean, it goes without saying. So, I don't know if it's jealousy and
it's not jealousy.
whatever you have
I
going
felt
on there,
boys were
but
just
so away from all of that. So, the same situation was
with the other
yeah,
the
with the
girls'
girls'
school
school, and so I came to the observation that this is something that's applicable when you dump a bunch of same sex children
in
in
the
the same,
same
like in the
four
same,
walls.
what's called, four walls, right? So
By the way,
yeah,
but I don't even
so
think that
I
that thing is necessary. Like that's
that's
school it
you now,
style
like that sounded like training in the past.
training.
Yes, now like that, and most of these schools
Okay,
are
training you to stay away
missionary,
from girls.
something like
Oh
that.
wow.
Because like,
Okay.
you know, my school was like in a very very big compound, like a very big compound. Like think about like UNN, where it's
Mm.
very big compound. Like there was like Christ the King, a primary school. There was another primary school. There was my school. Then there was a
Okay.
minor seminary, like a minor
The primary
seminary.
schools were
Like
mixed genders now. Abi.
interestingly, they were.
Oh God.
But of course, they were fences. Now, what you
All
asking me?
right. All right.
They were fences. Nobody's going to make pedophilic moves. So, but yeah. So there was a minor seminary, like at the other end. Minor
Okay.
seminary is like, you know, before the major seminary. Like
Mm.
the major seminary, like it's like tertiary education. Minor seminary,
Okay.
like secondary school seminary. Do
Seminary.
you understand?
Mm.
And that was an all boys school. Of course, it's like in preps to be, you know,
A
priest, reverend,
yeah,
you
Reverend.
get just
Oh.
the same way. What do you call this for nuns now? What do you call? Do you
I,
know? You don't know? You
I
don't know
don't
what's
know what
called?
they call it.
I forget now, but that's so. But my point is that I asked my friends, which I don't think that I would not have been susceptible to it myself, because it's the reason why prisoners, it happens every single time you, sorry, excuse me, happens every single time you box people of the same gender together for a long time, right? And so like my perspective about that is that, you know, this is just my perspective, by the way, that the situation is I don't think anybody is born, there's no scientific evidence that suggests it, that somebody is born like homosexual. Like
Mm.
I feel like it's something that, you know, evolves as you grow, both environmental conditioning and, do you understand? Like
Influence.
yeah, like it's what, you know, psychology wraps up as sexual fluidity. So I always wondered to myself, like the boys, that there was this weird guy, I don't want to call his name. He was very weird. He was very, and he took delight in looking like it, in looking effeminate, like in looking like it. And
Oh,
this you
there's so many
you
things
go
like
see
that.
tall 6 foot dudes with baby go, they act like woman, like for God's sake, I cut your head off.
There's so many things like that
So
going on in
crazy.
the world today, right?
Yeah. Well,
There's so many things like that going on in the world today.
so
I cringe at the thought of it.
so like, and I feel like we would not even cringe if we're growing up in like in the West, which is why I'm telling you, I feel like,
It's Western influence.
I mean, in large parts, like the fact that people are coming out more,
And oh, definitely. The
that
fact that people are coming out more
yeah,
is the Western influence,
yeah,
definitely, right? Because back in the days in Nigeria,
mm,
you are not mad to open your mouth and say that.
yeah,
That
because I
like
mean we're too hard in Africa.
yes,
It's a tough life.
but then like everybody's not for me. Oh, if the Americans can do it,
Yeah,
I don't know. I
even
don't
things
know.
like mental health, which is a thing. Like I'm not just saying it's a
Mm.
thing, but it's recent. It is in recent times that, you know, Gen Z, you know, smarting it's mental health. Do you get? So I feel like
Mm.
not that those concepts are like recent developments, but I feel like it's in recent times that people are, you know,
Coming out, talking
yeah,
more
coming
about
out
it.
to, yeah, talking about it. So I'm saying that to say that at the time Chimamanda wrote this book, maybe I think that was the uprise of like
Mm.
bi, trans, homo, and like
Yeah.
WXYZ. But I'm troubled. I'm just very troubled that Nigerians. Well, the question that brought us here is if she was bi. If you think she was bi,
I don't know. Listen to this part, right? So
okay,
this was after she had seen Tracy,
okay.
right? And then she goes to
Because it
the
sounds like she fell in love with Tracy.
yeah, and then she goes to the supermarket and she's looking at mascara and looking at makeup design. And then she's
Yeah.
like saying those words to herself changed nothing because what happened in the kitchen that afternoon was a flowering of extravagant hope. Because what now propelled her life was the thought that Tracy would come upstairs again.
Ah,
Ah,
that sounds
but
like a
this
way
was when
that a girl
I
would
started
feel
getting
for a boy.
confused. I said, because I was really, I was just going on my,
That is so
excuse
weird.
me, what's happening in front of my eyes?
Yeah,
Because I'm like, because apparently, her
yeah.
and this her, because I told you that when they moved from, she liked her boyfriend in Nigeria. So
Okay,
because he moved like to the US before her,
okay,
and then she was at home for a while, and then all her aunties and people were coming like, oh, are
okay,
they still coming to carry you?
okay.
Yeah, see here.
So I've really forgotten the
So
story. I want to go and
she
read it.
goes to meet him
Yeah.
there, right? And they were together for a while. But she said she met a different person. As in the person that she was in love with in Nigeria was not the same person she
Yeah.
met here. Like he
Okay.
had this fake American accent.
Ouch.
And then he was just strange. Like
Yeah.
and I don't know if I should say I understood where she was coming from. Because like
Okay.
she and this person had been apart for quite a while.
Oh,
Right. And then she's like, because
that's my problem with long distance relationships.
yes,
People
there's
change.
people
But let's
change
leave that to
and
the
we
side.
don't see that they are changing because we are talking
We are
to
not
them over
even,
the
yeah,
phone.
talking to them over the phone. I mean, even people in the same location can change,
And they don't notice.
and they don't notice that change. That's weird, bro.
So yeah,
Moving
so
on.
she comes and then she meets this guy, and then like there was this, according to what CNN described, there was gloom like on her part of the
Yeah,
relationship. Like she can just be at home, be in the house, and then she's just walking around, and then the guy is there. Maybe he comes back and he's excited, and she's not feeling like she wants to. There was this effort. She
yeah,
wanted to try to like him or try to feel him, or like,
yeah.
oh, I know this guy now. I mean, like,
Mm,
you know what? It wasn't there anymore,
mm.
right? And then this particular time after Tracy came upstairs,
Yeah.
his babe was blissful. He was full of joy. And I'm like, excuse me, what's going on with you? That's why I knew that, okay, something's actually wrong here
Okay.
because this is not really. And then when Anna confirmed was when she went downstairs to present herself to be drawn. And
Okay.
then Tracy just gives out this, like, what's going
Yeah.
on with you?
Mm.
Like, behave yourself.
Okay.
And that's when I'm like, okay, maybe this Tracy didn't mean anything. She was
Yeah.
just
But do you
offered.
think that Tracy did not mean anything?
I do not
I
think so.
Okay. Why?
Because the way CNA described
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tracy, if it was a very, very simple conversation, oh,
Mm,
I like you or whatever,
Mm.
can I draw you
Yeah.
or something, that would have been understandable,
okay.
right? But Tracy made this. It was weird. It
It
was
was
not.
flirtatious.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you.
But do you
The
not think it was?
advances,
Do you not think it was artist obsessions? Like,
artists,
yeah.
artists getting is that you?
You
Is that how they should do? Is
It's-
that how they
it's
do?
like chill out. It's like I don't know. I think it's artist obsession. Sometimes um sometimes you can be deep as an artist.
I
You
don't
can be
think
deep
so.
and like people misconstrue. It's really like staring in somebody's direction, but you're not looking at them. But because you are staring in their direction, they think that you're looking at them. But you are staring into the great abyss. Something like that too, but it's not that deep. Another I mean it's taking a long time. Like it's taking a long time for me to or it's been a long time rather since I read I read this book. I wish I had time to read it before uh, I mean this particular story that is the only story I've not read. It's
Mm.
supposed to be the story you
Yeah.
like. But moving on.
This is not this. Okay. So now,
But calm down. I'm saying that two things stand out. Two things stand out when I'm thinking about this particular story, and that's what you just described about Kamara and Tracy. And the other thing is Neil, like how
okay.
overprotective, and
I don't.
I want to talk about that. But you wanted to read something to me. What was that?
I wanted to read like the conversation between.
Between her and
No.
Tracy.
It's
You want to
unnecessary.
flog the matter.
I just
to
want you to be
prove
sure, like
something.
that thing was not artistic, whatever it is you call it.
Okay.
I don't know, because this part, like when she came upstairs,
Yeah.
right? She was talking to Kamara. Tracy was talking to Kamara, and then but if not said very much. She asked her if she likes Ghana.
Yeah.
She said very much. The motherland informs all of my work. So this is Tracy
Yeah.
talking. And
Okay.
then she's like, Tracy was tickling Josh, but her eyes were steady on Kamara.
Mm.
Then she now asked her if she was Yoruba. And then,
Sorry, did you just pronounce that thing as Yoruba?
oh my God.
Move on gently. Nobody will know.
Quietly.
Continue.
Whatever was going on, right? So, I don't know. She said, okay, this was it for me.
Okay.
Right. So listen.
Yeah.
So she says, do you like this job, Kamara? She said, yes. Josh is a very good boy.
Yeah.
And then Tracy nodded, she reached out again and lightly touched Kamara's face. Why are you touching my face?
Women do that. Okay.
Her eyes gleamed in light from the halogen lamps.
Okay.
She now said, would you take off your clothes for me? I'll paint you. They won't look much like you. I was not like, okay, they are artists. I don't know what they do.
Okay.
Right, but they used to draw
People.
people.
There's something called nude painting. Sure, you know
Okay,
that?
all right.
Okay.
That's fine. Maybe that's the conversation that was going on here, and I know you understand it.
Okay.
But then Karana says, okay, Karana did not know, she was speechless.
Okay.
Karana said, oh, I don't know. And then she said, think about it. Then she now went back upstairs. And I think she said this exact same thing to, okay, no, this other woman, she just asked her, have you ever been an artist mother? She said, no, more giggles. So
Okay.
he was like, look at it from Kamara's point of view.
Okay.
And she said, you had the most unusual eyes, Violet. Tracy was still holding Marian's hand. Oh, thank you. Marian giggled nervously. They really are Violet. Oh, yes, I think so. Have you ever been an artist model? Oh, no, more giggles.
Okay. Okay.
I said,
you
you should think about it. Then she raised the apple to her lips, took a slow bite. Her gaze never wavering from Marian's face. And that was actually, and then this person says, Neil, that's her husband,
Yeah.
was watching with an indulgent smile.
Mm.
And Kamara looked away. You know, this story,
I'm sure you don't want to reread it.
I think I have to.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think
the
I'm
third
going
time.
to reread it. And we'll probably like talk about it again
Yes,
sometime.
yes.
Because with the indulgent, I think let me keep that conclusion to myself. But then also, Kamara getting jealous that they give the same type of compliments to another girl, just another female is just like
That was when I
weird.
knew that, okay, this woman actually felt something.
It's weird.
This cameraman has.
It's just weird. But then on the side though, it looks like well, I keep that conclusion also to myself until let's talk about Neil and him being like overprotective like that.
The guy used to, if he said the things on the table top used to change every day because he can read something about his son.
Mm-hmm.
Like children should not be taking chocolate, and then he banned all the chocolate in the house. Or and let's say they say children should not be taking sweets. He will now buy sweets, a lot of sweets, and fill up the freezer. And then tomorrow he reads an article and they're like, sweets are not good for children.
Yeah.
He take out all the sweets. That's a buy orange juice and you fill up the fridge with orange juice.
That one is trouble.
There was this part I think I don't know what the kind of juice it was, but I know it wasn't nice. So the young man didn't like it.
that
so,
was positive. I think I can remember that.
He took it away.
That's growing up on that kind of parenting is the thing about parenting though is that as a what's it called?
As a non-parent.
As a non-parent, as a ward, you have these many opinions.
Yes.
You know,
Until you become a parent.
Until you become a parent. Like everybody thinks that kids are cute until they are yours.
You have kids.
Yes. But I think it just goes without saying. I think it goes without saying that maybe it doesn't go without saying. I wanted to give my opinion about it.
But you're a non-parent, it doesn't want to come out from the truth.
Don't go down. Like
the thing is this, right? The man wasn't even exactly overprotective.
Yeah.
I think he had his own issues that he was pouring out.
He was
on
projecting on the boy.
Yes.
That's.
I think that's just what it was because it wasn't coming from a place of. It wasn't coming from a place of concern. When you ask, oh, is he ready for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or when he's coming and trying to just, okay, you'll be fine. It doesn't mean anything. You're my winner. And blah, blah, blah.
It felt like he was practicing to be a parent. Do you understand? It's like.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it was.
Books and they were telling him to do this. They said, it feels like, do you know the book How to Win Friends and Influence People?
No.
But like or like some of these dating books. I bet you had one
How
of
to
these
be a
boys try to
gentleman.
use you to experiment what they read in those books. Say, smile, say this pickup line. Come on,
Put it in your pocket.
yeah. Ask her, are you an athlete? Because you've been running across my
Right.
mind.
Oh, please.
Yeah, we're
I'm
all
sure this
crazy.
give like pickup lines at the back that they can use to practice.
Yeah, there's something like that. But um, let's leave that to the side. He felt like he was practicing to be a
I
parent.
feel this story just gave me a lot to think about, and it's so annoying because it's not supposed to be that deep. Do you get? So now I'm not trying to
Yeah.
connect the dots with Tracy now, as
Yeah.
Tracy used to be in the basement. So the man was probably just trying to be a good father for his child. Do you get? Probably just trying to take the place of both the mother and the father.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
As Tracy wasn't doing her job.
But would you even imagine? I think that the boy Josh, for that kind of home situation, I think the boy is a product of like a one night stand or something.
I don't
Because like,
know.
how did a guy like Neil end up with a woman like
You never know
Tracy?
what can happen. Maybe something happened to her one day
And she
and
changed.
she changed. Do you
That's
get? And she staying the and as an very understanding man that he
that's
seemed to
crazy.
be,
Oh.
maybe he just decided to allow her with her situation and decided to take care of the family all by himself. You never know. I mean,
It's crazy. It's really crazy. And when I think about, I think about like the tendencies of guys to do that.
mm,
If you are somebody who like um you are like overly meticulous, you pay attention to too much detail, you can run that risk. Yeah, you can run that risk. And then I think this also this also gives something to think about per, per developing your judgment like in life, like generally. Like I was working on an article before I came here, two articles actually. One of them is like about climate change and how I see climate change. People think that it's, people think that it's a myth, right? It's just like people up until this day think that the coronavirus was a myth. In
mm.
fact, there are people, this one will shock you, that think that the earth is flat. And if they give you their evidences, you're going to believe it. So it's like, how then in this world do you develop your judgment, your persuasions, right? Because
Mm.
you see him saying, or you see him thinking like, this thing is good for my child, and so therefore, he buys all of them,
Mm.
right? And he finds another article that says something different.
Yeah.
You know, I can relate to all of this. Like when when I was much younger, I heard that you should not eat more than 2 eggs a day.
Mm.
Then I heard that eggs are good. That you should eat as much of them as you.
What's
Then
up?
I
What's up, doctors?
and it's really crazy. And so because of that, and when a Aproko doctor came out, I did not like I didn't trust him for a while until like I
Okay.
looked him up, right?
Mm.
And I like the idea of doing things like that over like the media,
Yeah.
all these neuroscientists, all these doctors, and boom, 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 giving their advice. But like, you can run the danger of, like having false punditry. Like, if you know what I mean, like punditry is where people are always commenting, giving analysis on things, right? I get it, and then sometimes they give the analysis on these things like they are the authority. There are folks that do that in theological circles too, or all this Twitter. I don't like Twitter. What do you call these guys? What do you call social media influencers? There's one now that is
Okay.
very popular. I bet you even like him, but I don't like him. I don't want to call his name. Yeah. I don't like him. Don't worry. Off the mic, I'm going to tell you. I don't like him at all. So I don't like people positioning to give like hot takes, because hot takes don't make people.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
what
It's
is
fine. It's
that?
fine.
Why are you doing it?
It's all right.
Hot takes don't make people like, they don't give people conviction. In fact, I have a strong bias against short form content, like, or tweets. I have a bias against it. Like, they have their resourcefulness, but I don't think that people should read that to. I don't think that people should read that
Build
to
their
to educate
conviction.
themselves. You
Okay.
can read for like inspiration. There's the guy I read on Twitter. His name is Naval. He writes the punchiest things, right? He can do, 4 word tweets. He can do 6 word tweets, like, and they are packed with
Yeah.
insights. But I don't think that tweets are a method to educate yourself. long form stuff, a method to educate yourself. Like I'm talking books, sitting down and reading books. Why? Because reading, gives you it gives you the meta skill of being able to judge, right? And I believe that if you know the fundamentals, right, you will be able to have an opinion when somebody says this is the scientific evidence for this is the scientific, you have an opinion. Like even though you're not like an authority, but I don't want to deep the thing, right? So I just said all of that to say that I'm uncomfortable. I know that you run that risk if you're a meticulous person. You're always over caring for like the people that you care about. You can run the risk of being overprotecting and all of that. But doing that stone cold, doing that, I can go on and on. I mean, I wanted to deviate now and talk about people that want to be rational without being emotional. I talk to these people. They think that the people I talk to, some of them, they think that they think they're smart. They think they're intelligent because they think that they are rational. And I think they always say this when they want to pitch men against women. They say men are rational, women are emotional. But the thing is, for you to make a complete rational judgment, you have to be emotional.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes the most rational judgments you are making. For example, you have a meeting today by like, I don't know, say 6 p.m. or something. And then you fall sick before 6 p.m. and you have to attend the meeting. It looks like the rational thing to do is to show up for the meeting. But what if you fall really sick? And you can't show up for the meeting, not only because of how you're feeling, but because you're sick, the illness is contagious. For you to make the rational decision of not showing up to the meeting, you have to consider how you feel. Right? So like many rational decisions are like that. Is you only separate that thing when you want to explain. So I feel like people often in the bid to want to be so rational they go excluding parts that are you cannot exactly separate, right? But then I went off deep end there.
I think this also has to do with because there was someone that I don't know where I read this. Okay, was he here?
Did you suddenly start sounding sober?
Calm down. Calm down. My voice is coming out from where it was.
But go on. I think I like hearing it like that.
I don't know where I read it.
Yeah.
The person was like, I think, is he see this book? And he was like,
I would like you to read like your favorite parts for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but go on.
He said if you explain to him, like he'll get it. And now I don't know if this thing you're saying has any connection with this thing I'm about to say, but like you know how like Nigerian parents, they'll just say, turn off the TV.
Yeah.
You do not understand. Your child doesn't understand why he's turning off the TV.
Okay.
He doesn't understand that it is time for him to go to bed and he has to be up early in the morning. But he just knows that my soldier, aka my parents, has told me that I should turn off the TV, and because I do not want to be punished, let me turn off the TV. But I think that's a very weird approach, because if you explain to the child that
I remember when we were much younger, you have to cool the TV. That like you watch the TV, you have to cool the TV down. you have to cool the TV down.
I think it's all of that. Okay, this is my child.
It's too weird. Continue.
And this is my parents' kind of relationship. It now becomes a soldier and senior soldier, high rank, and yes, you get that kind of thing. And it just your child will end up growing up being afraid of you and happy all the times that you have left the house, because you're not passing. Cause I think that most times parents just run away from being emotional towards their children.
Okay.
Let's not be
you're exploring the other side of like being emotional versus being rational.
Just want to. You should do this, you should do that, do this, and do that, and don't do this. Why am I not doing this? Most times you don't understand anything till you are a lot older. Because that's why people now say, the things that your parents did for you when you were younger, they saved you before. It made me a better person. I understand that, right? But if you would have explained to me then, I want to looked at you. I'll not see you as someone that hates me. Do you get? It's not be, my mother doesn't like me, that's why she allowed me to go out with my friends.
But in their defense though, do you think that the child is capable of understanding the explanation at that time? Like I feel like sometimes I'm
not talking about little children now.
Yeah. As it's about like ages like 9 to like 15.
Yes. Secondary schoolish kind of age. Okay. There's difference between parents. I was discussing this one the other day. Difference between parents that raise their children up in an, I don't see in an emotional way that even makes any sense, but like raise them up, explaining things to them, letting them know, okay, this is why and this is why. They grow there's a difference between them and people that just know that they have,
to do this and do
yes,
that and
and
not do this and
yes,
not do that.
that kind of thing.
I'll think about that, but I think that is a caveat to it. And of course, like we said, these are all speculations and hypotheses
Hmm.
until you become a parent. This,
Oh my
this,
god, I don't
this,
like giving parenting. I don't like giving parenting views.
it's like
Please take
giving
everything I say with a grain of salt.
it's like having marriages, and of course, it's the reason why we are putting out the episode for this podcast, because it gives us the opportunity to think through some of these problems, explore the realities of some of these characters and characterization as it would be in real life. And funny thing, I was talking to a friend, I think that's 2 days ago, that we were chatting on WhatsApp, and she
Mm.
was introducing a new writer that she's reading at the moment.
Mm.
His name is Bukowski. Charles Bukowski. The man is very depraved. Please don't check him out. Except you want
Okay.
to lose your mind. you know. So but then, I asked her how she was doing and how her day went. Right. And she was telling me how nothing memorable happened. Right. But then I asked her, do you think it would have been memorable if Charles Bukowski wrote your day in the story? And she said definitely. So I'm saying all of that to say that it doesn't feel like we have like complete understanding about it. But I think it's the beauty of it to have to talk about like the story, and then have all these questions from like all the characters and all of
Mm.
the characterization
Mm.
come out. And then we have is this real? Can this be obtainable in real life?
Mm.
Like this kind of thing they happen, like really, really. And I think this particular story, we should come back to it. This is called like to go back, read, review, and
Mm.
then understand it and come back to it. So I think you should read
Okay.
some of your favorite
So this part is
paragraphs
where
of the story from.
Chimamanda is talking about Kamara's um Kamara's man,
Yeah.
right? And she says he was when he was about to get his green card.
Yeah.
And so he said Tobechi called to say that his green card was on the table in front of him and that it was not even green. I said, well, I'm like, bro. And then this part,
The green card is not actually green.
I did not know that.
Okay. Okay.
So she said, okay, this time she wants to call, she calls her best friend Chiwe,
Yeah.
that's Kamara, to
Yeah.
talk about something.
Yeah.
And I said she called Chiwe and Chiwe began to cry after the first hello and Kedu. She now says another woman was pregnant for Chiwe's husband and he was going to pay her bride price because Chiwe had no daughters. Had 2 daughters rather, and the woman came from a family of many sons. So this is the thing, right? And this woman was pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are not yet know what the gender of the child was, but just
Okay.
because she came from a family of many sons, this man was going to marry her because
Well, on the one hand, that would sound like superstitious, but like there is.
I know there's that.
there
There's
is-
biological thinking.
Yeah, there
I
is-
get it,
yeah,
right? But like,
yeah.
it's
You were
the.
going to marry her hypothetically.
Do you
just
get?
because-
Just because she
That's
you were going to
crazy.
leave your wife that had 2 daughters for you to marry this one
Some
because
dude just because she came
from a
from
family of
of
many sons.
Very twisted.
I'm not. Today is not the day I'm going to discuss this son issue, right?
Whatever you want to say, I hope that you're saying it from a sensible standpoint.
What do you
Okay.
mean? Of
Don't worry,
course.
I'm on your side.
I'm just saying
I
that
know I
today,
can never win an argument against you.
please. One day the conversation will come up again,
Yeah.
and I'll talk about it, but not today. Not
Yeah.
today.
So what's the next paragraph?
I think that's all. The other thing I highlighted was something I wanted to talk about concerning Kamara.
Whoa, this was an incredibly tough episode to record
Yeah.
for all of
the reasons.
But we are going to end it where we tell you guys to after listening or while listening give your thoughts, because like I think this is one of the episodes that have, if not the only episode, no, Lost Stars Are Broken was
Yeah.
one that was quite opinionated.
Yes.
So I think this one will rave more questions,
Yes.
more opinions.
But that's in that we say that when we say it, you like,
I say, yeah,
Just
that
tell us.
is-
let us know what you think
Let us
about
know what
it.
you think about it.
Right.
Our ex handle is open, right? NTD underscore the podcast, right?
I think so.
I think so. And then on Spotify here you have an option of comments.
Yeah.
But
You
just in
can.
case you're not listening on Spotify, right? We would really love to know what you guys think. Feel free to tag us and we would love to join the conversation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So till the next episode.
Yeah, you will hear from us. Thank you for listening to me. I want to say thank you for laughing, but Dixon will
This
say I'm
girl
too
always
deep.
thinks that she's very funny. It's not that deep, sha.
Thank you. Bye.